Hello and welcome to Pratik Chess Videos.
Hello chess friends, today we are going to see uh, this game which was played between Flessig and Schlechter in 1893. Let's start the game. Okay, this game is an illustration of how to punish the opponent's mistakes from the very beginning. As we can see in this game, okay, so let's start the game. From today, we will be starting a series on how to punish opponents' mistakes, as it is very important to learn the art of punishing opponents' mistakes. Let's start as you say. Okay. So the game started with b4, not the best opening you can play, but it was a uh, it was 1893 theory was not that developed, and uh, Flessig didn't hesitate to play this move. Okay, so now after b4, in the game was played e6, attacking the b4 pawn, logical move, and now bishop to b2. It's logical counter attack. Bishop into b4 falls for bishop into g7. Okay, so my approach to these moves would be to play d5, and after bishop b2 just play bishop to g4, developing the bishop at the most active square. If h3, bishop h5, g4, bishop g6, I would not worry because the king has nowhere to go. Long castle, then white has this b4 pawn. Short castle, then I can play h5 and target these pawns. So that's why after so bishop b2, bishop to g4, and now here our idea is to just play e6, knight f6, and then take on b4. Actually, e6 and knight f6 come with a tempo of bishop into b4. So now let's start. Okay, so this didn't happen in the game, but one of the best options I think is to play d5. But in the game e6, bishop b2, and now it was played. What? You got me. It was played knight to f6, simple move, just blocking this bishop, and now bishop to into b4 is a real threat. Okay, a3, defending the pawn on b4, and after a3 comes the move c5, targeting the pawn on b4, eh, and now b into c5 should have been played in the game, but after bishop into c5, black gets. True that this pawn is a central one and this pawn is a wing one, but this is important because after takes, see, we get some activity along this, this, and in the and here there's a like serious threat of bishop into f2 check, king into f2, queen b6 check, and then queen into b2. So that's why in b into c5, bishop into c5, a3 c5, and now in the game was played instead of b into c5, b5, which is a bad move. which is a mistake actually. And now the game is easy for black. Now black plays a very logical move, just playing d5, solidifying the center. We have the center within our grasps. And now bishop to d6, and then short castle is a good threat here. But now white plays d4, and now all of a sudden this is the decisive mistake. Well, b5 we can shrug that off as an inaccuracy, but d5 d4 it's just the mistake that gets the game out. Because now if you check, this is just bad. Okay, so this is very bad, and now thing is that we play queen f5 check, and now double attack. You have to play knight c3 to defend that pawn, but now knight e4. See, the problem with b5 is that you neglected such a good exchange, and this pawn is becoming a weakness, as we saw in the game. So knight c3, and now knight to e4. Simple, and now attacking this pawn, this knight here. It's just deadly. Now queen to d3 is the only move to save the knight. I mean, there's this good trick of e3, that if knight into c3, queen to d2, but in the game it was not seen by the players. e3 is a move, but queen d3, and now it's just too bad. Queen d3, we can take that as an inaccuracy. Why inaccuracy? Why not mistake or blunder? Because e3 was just too way inhuman to find. So that's why in the game, after queen d3, c into d4, simple. Now attacking the knight, and now queen into d4 is forced, and now just bishop to c5, bishop into f2 check is coming, and now uh, it may seem like queen into g7 does a deal, but it's not that much of a thing. So after queen into g7, we just play the move. Oh yeah, here it comes, bishop into f2 check. King to d1, and now Schlechter went like a world champion mode, engine level, and played d4, the brilliant move. Beautiful shot. Now here see, if knight into e4, then queen e1, mate on move 11. If queen into h8 check, then king to e7, and now here there was played. Oh yeah, here it comes. Okay, there was played this move, queen into c8. Now d into c3, and now thing is that we are a rook down, but here c into b2 is coming, after which a rook is threatened, and queen to d2 and queen to e1 are coming. So this is very bad position for white. And after here, after d into c3, you can't find such a good move. Bishop to c1 was played, saving the bishop. And now knight d7, the only inaccurate move in a beautiful game. This is the only inaccurate move here, because knight d7 you play this move, like, does a thing that attacks the c8 queen, but after queen into a8, queen into b5. But the reason it's inaccurate is that here, see, after knight d7 there's queen into b7 move, and now after rook to d8, queen into e4, and it's still a messed up fight. After check, queen d3, rook into d3, and d into d3. White still has rook and two minor pieces and a pawn versus a queen. Though we win one, I think. Yeah, we win a rook here, because takes queen b6, rook h1, knight to g4, rook b1, knight f2, king h2, I mean king e2, knight into h1. We win a rook. But here, this we don't need to get in this. Simple and sweet move is to just play queen into b5, and now no threats at all. Everything is avoided. And now the threat of queen to d5 check. We just need here to give one check along the d5 to make it over. So, like here, this queen to b7 check is annoying. Okay, we just need to do one thing, yeah, that we need to deflect that queen across there to make it possible for it. So after bishop c1, queen into b5, there's nothing you can do. But in the game, knight d7 was played, but unfortunately for white didn't found the move and played queen into a8, queen into b5, and now it was just over. Now what you can do, it's very little you can do in this position. White tried here playing bishop to f4, making way for the king, but now queen d5 check, king to c1, and now pause the video and get the last punish, and then win the game. Okay, what will you play? Here you should play the move bishop to e3 check, and now you win the game. Good move, or I mean brilliant move. Bishop into e3, knight to f2, queen to d1 check, and mate threat is inevitable. And now bishop into f2, queen to d2 check, and the game is over. My god, what an amazing game. Okay, everything okay, let's summarize. So b4, not the best opening you should play. Bishop b2, knight f6, a3, c5, and now b5 was a mistake, followed by the d4 decisive mistake, and now check, knight e4 action, black action packed his moves, and now 8 dot bishop c5 1 0 1. Now nothing you can do. It's just lost here. So uh, uh, after d4, black quickly brought his pieces in. Every move he brought his piece in, and now It was just a matter of time until Schlechter masterfully converted the game. What a brilliant game! Okay, today's takeaways were like when opponent does this horrible mistake, you do not think of okay, he lost a pawn or two. Let's trade out to an end game and then win. No, when he does such horrible mistakes, you must punish him right in the opening, and that will result in a very easy and very what can we say, very short win. So this was the game. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to click the scam bell icon. Thank you.